Hey folks, Chip Richter. I'm coming to you from the Country Club of Harrisburg today, and I want to talk to you about something I've been doing a lot of, something I kind of, they always say necessity is the mother of invention. You've heard me in many of my videos talk about my pressure mat. I largely use the mat for full swing things, for my finding most people get too much into the right side, often get outside this right foot, can't recenter, have too much weight right at impact, and then they go left late, and we can also measure lateral and vertical and dynamic forces and things like that. I use this mat a lot. It's a great teaching tool. It's so helpful for helping people feel a better pivot. But oddly enough, I was working with my daughter, I would say about 2 months ago. She was on the putting green, and something just didn't look right. I was like, what's going on? So I said, it looks to me like she's got an awful lot of weight on her lead leg. And so I said, well, I've got the perfect thing to measure it. I get the mat out, and we get her out, and I measure her, and lo and behold, she's about 72% on her front foot. And because of that, the path of the club is getting very outside early in the backswing because she's right. It's harder to get inside when you're over here. She's taking the club a little outside, and she had to leave the face open to get the ball started on line, which was no good. So all of a sudden, and I give a lot of putting lessons, I started measuring a lot of people and finding out that most people stroke it way, way better using TrackMan putting. I talked about TrackMan putting a few weeks ago. Most people stroke it way, way better when they get about 50-50 on their feet. You can be 55-45 or something like that. That's fine. You don't have to be perfect. But when you start getting 60% lead or 70% trail, when you start hitting those 60-70s to start, something's going to get off. Remember, the stroke is an arc, okay? It goes around a center of a pivot, okay? It's a fulcrum, basically. And if we put a lot of weight this way or this way, it's going to screw up the center. So we want to keep the center as stable as we can, and we want to be about 50-50 right to left. We also don't want to be crazy amounts on the heel or crazy amounts on the toe. Now, one thing you can do at home to check that heel toe thing is, you see right here, I've taken a towel and I've rolled it up, okay? And if I just get on this towel and I try to feel like my heels and my toes are basically touching the ground the same amount, I'm probably pretty balanced heel to toe, okay? I'm probably in pretty good shape there. So that's something you can do right there. If right away you feel like, oh no, I'm on my toes, or oh boy, I'm getting on my heels, just try and, you can even hit some putts like that. Roll up a towel, try and feel like you're centered heel to toe and see what happens. But if you'd like to find out what you're doing left to right pressure-wise, you're probably going to have to get on a mat or a gear system or something somewhere. But I bet you I'm finding way more than half the people that I'm teaching are setting up with too much pressure in one direction. If you take a look at a picture right here, you're going to see I had a student recently had way too much weight in the left foot or the lead leg, okay? Once we got that student feeling, we put it in live mode, and we get him saying that, he says, that doesn't feel like 50-50. I said, but it is. The numbers don't lie. And all of a sudden, the stroke cleaned up tremendously on TrackMan, okay? Tremendously. Launch got way better just because he was standing centered where he's supposed to be. I see a lot more people leaning into the front foot. I don't see as much people leaning back. I've seen it, but it's more rare. But an awful lot of you are setting up with too much weight on this front foot. That's going to make that path go a little bit out, and it's going to make it harder for you to manage the face, okay? So if you'd like to come out and get checked, we can absolutely do this. It's not hard. It's not physically demanding. We can get you feeling what 50-50 feels like. We can get you feeling heel to toe. We can measure these things and make it much easier for you to produce a correct and repetitive stroke. I hope you take me up on the opportunity. You know where to find me, chiprichtergolf.com, at the Country Club of Harrisburg, Tuesday through Sunday. Hope you had a great week playing golf, folks. Talk to you soon.